back off that.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Usual Suspects. We're on episode 91. For some of you guys that don't know, President Donald J. Trump, 45th president, and hope to God the 47th president, was on the PBD podcast yesterday. We're going to be talking about that, how, the secrecy, the Secret Service, the moment we found out, Adam finding out, ripping his pants into, and then we're going to talk about Kamala Harris. She was on Brett Baier. Guys, we have a lot to talk about. We're gonna just get right into it. So, as you guys know, for some of you guys that don't, Donald Trump, and Tom, I'll let you get into this a little bit.
Excuse me.
What?
Excuse me.
What?
Can you excuse me?
Yes.
You're doing great.
Yes.
I just want to tell you. Little Vinnie, that's what I call him. We got Tiny Tom here. Little Vinnie.
I'm not little.
It was an amazing day, but
we got a big day. Tell them what we got. We got a lot of stuff to cover.
We have a lot to cover, but and Tom, I mean, how much of when we knew, how we knew? I mean, this thing was kept a secret. I mean, it was kept a secret until there was 95 police cars outside of Valley Tainment. People were messaging me, Tom, that work out at the gym that I work out. They're like, "Hey, who the hell is that Valuetainment?" And I'm very good when it's real secrets like this. I'm amazing. My mom didn't know.
Saw you.
Thank you. I had her
on the call.
My mom lit a candle for Pat, and she goes, "What's wrong?" You know, my mom. She's like, "What's wrong? Is everybody sick?" I go, "Mom, nobody's sick. Just light a candle for good luck." "Oh, normally you say to." I go, "Mom, just light the freaking candle." She's like, "Okay, so guys, you want to talk about the security? We'll get to the security status, but Tom, can you please explain how this kind of, without giving too much detail, how it came to be, and then a little bit of the process?
Well, come on. PBD Podcast is known as the business podcast that covers a lot of issues that are interesting to business and matter to business. That's why we cover economic stats. We cover events around the world. We cover events in the USA, legislation, and it's election year. Casting your vote is also casting a vote for the business. That's our votes. That's what we do. That's how we're the #1 business podcast. And as you can see, they've been out on tour. They've been out talking to more than just the mainstream media. Remember, Trump has to beat 3 enemies. His opponent, the RNC are together as one. Then he has to beat the establishment in Washington that doesn't want outsiders, who are kind of quiet below the surface. And then he's going to beat the mainstream media.
That's 4.
So he has to go 4-0. He has to quickly win 4 games, win the World Series to become president. And so they're out there saying, you know what? We're going to talk to other people. We're going to talk to people that matter. And you know what? We're known. Our presence is known. And so when the opportunity came up, they wanted to come talk to us. And we can see why, and we can see what happened of it. And the audience response already this morning is tremendous. People wanted to see this. They wanted to see PBD talking this stuff with President Trump.
Well, I got to give you a little credit and I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, because you shouldn't.
But
Tom was behind the scenes.
A lot of people have been asking for this interview because let's get real here. PBD. When you want to combine business, politics, social media, influence, just the economy, the world, family, tradition, America, immigration, I mean, you're not
And an angry patriot.
An angry patriot. You're not going to find a better platform to go on and sit one-on-one with PBD. I'm sorry I said it. And people have been asking for this interview, and I'm sure we've all experienced people like, listen, Trump's going on all these podcasts. Like, when's he coming on PBD? Yeah. And the reality was, for whatever reasons, there was some political situations. Diplomacy was needed. Let's just say that. Because it wasn't looking like it was going to happen. For other issues, I'll let you comment on this. But shout out to you, CPR, consistent, persistent, resilient. We said, we're going to have to get to the heart of the matter and discuss what's holding this up. And it was just something minor. But I guess my lesson to everybody, if you want something and you know that it's actually the right thing, you don't stop until you actually turn over all stones, let's just say that, and get it done. So shout out to you for turning over this one little stone that maybe needed to be turned. And then now we got Trump here. Yeah. Let's go. So shout out to PBD and Tom and the team for making it happen.
And how many? I mean, so Tom. I mean, it aired earlier. How many views? Where was it at, Rob? 300,000. Some concurrent.
No.
At one point, it was 107,000.
500,000 views right now.
Where's it at right now, Humberto?
Listen, it's the greatest podcast that's ever been done. Humberto, what are the numbers?
1,000 views.
477,000 views, guys. And for you guys that haven't seen it, I mean, just from like, obviously Pat does all the freaking homework and all the research and all the questions. It went from, it went policy, it went personal, it went the future. It was, by the way, I've never seen, and Tom, please, and all you guys, please tell me if I'm correct. He was comfortable once he started using his hand, he was really comfortable. It was such a range of emotion. It was good. It was a conversation, Tom. Because normally when he goes on these things like the Bloomberg thing, it was just, them. Yeah, it wasn't confrontational. But, and don't get me wrong, there was moments where Patrick held his foot to the fire. You have to challenge him. Pat's not a pushover. And Adam, I love that what you said about Pat. Guys, Pat is this larger-than-life character that has read and researched and everything. When you talk to a person like that, you are getting the best cliff notes of what this person has read and consumed throughout his life. Like, Tom, how many books? You mentioned this the other day at the staff meeting. Pat has read
thousands of books.
So when you speak to this person, you're like, oh my God, like, thank you. Every time I talk, when he leaves, I just message him. I'm like, bro, thank you for taking that time to give me all this. So going to this moment, guys, we found out we're going to this thing. You have to give, all your information. Secret Service, they're doing background checks, Tom. They have to know who you are.
They're doing their job.
Yeah.
The Secret Service we saw over the last 72 hours, professionals, polite, persistent, and absolutely thorough. They do all the things, we can't go into the details on it, but they do all the things they do to make sure that we keep the president safe.
Yeah.
And it was a marvelous job that they did. And, hats off to the crew at Valuetainment, the facilities crew, and everybody cooperating, making sure everything was in its place that needed to be so that they feel that he can make a safe visit, have a great interview with PBD, and then make a safe exit. That's what it's all about. And by the way, they're doing this, hats off the Secret Service, they're doing this 3 times a day during election season because he's over here, he's over here, he's over here. And then he goes to, a fundraiser at his house. That's easy because that one's already, but everywhere he goes during the day, it's so well choreographed. The campaign team was really strong. Everything, and you say to yourself, wow, I really, really hope we can get this over the finish line because it's really, you look into his eyes and you see the things he's talking about and what he wants to do for America. He's absolutely right. And I'll say it again. He's got to defeat 3 enemies,
maybe
the
4.
establishment swamp, the DNC, and the candidate, and then he's got to defeat the mainstream media.
Tom, I'll add one more, and then Adam, I'll go to you. You got to add one more, Tommy. It's the assassins. It's the people out there that are trying to kill him, and that's why, Tom, I'm happy.
I kind of put that with the establishment.
Okay, good, great, very
because
good.
they have no desire.
No,
the establishment has got no desire to try to turn down the heat of these lone wolves that may think about doing something horrible to an elected official.
If they're lone wolves at all.
Tom, on your point, it made me, because after that, when he got shot, after he got shot, we saw him thanking the Secret Service, and it didn't make sense to me at the time. But what I saw myself, like the level of professionals that this country has to offer, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because mind you, I didn't, because obviously, we were around maybe once or twice pre-assassination attempts, plural, and whatever happened from then till right now, this was let me explain something to everybody out there. Besides the pre-setting up for the logistics, Tom, you nailed it. If he's going to 3 of these a day, oh my goodness, guys, and I'm not giving away any of their secrets of the Secret Service. You don't know what they're doing. But from bomb sniffing, vehicles, choppers over the head, the building itself. And if you guys have ever been around Secret Service, I'm pretty sure, and Rob, you guys can attest, you're in there, right? And you obviously are safe. You've been metal detected, your social security background check. Every person you look at is looking right at you. And at one point, I'm like, holy shit, am I going to do anything? It's such an on-point rooms, and going in here, it was very, very professional. I'm talking about snipers, you name it. I feel comfortable that they are guarding him now. You feel me? I feel good.
You had to see it. You had
to see it to believe it.
To believe it.
Yeah.
Bingo. This is my biggest takeaway, because if you've never met a president before, if you've never met someone of that caliber, you don't really know what you're walking into.
Yes.
So, and we've met Bill Clinton, and he was the former president. Yeah. You've met Trump before. I've spent time with other people in this.
Tell people about meeting Clinton real quick, about because the context and the event.
Well, I'm just going to get to my point.
Yeah.
If you've never met the president
Yeah, he's
before,
getting there, Tommy.
just let me get this.
Yeah.
If you've never met the president before, it's like, what's it like? So it's not so much meeting Trump, because literally when we had the opportunity to say hi to Trump, we were like, hey, Donald Trump. Like, it was
gone.
so informal.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you were going to meet Reagan back in the day, you'd be like, hello, sir.
Yes.
Even though Trump, he's such like, you feel like you know him.
Yeah.
So when he walked in, you're like, yo, what up? Like, literally, like, watch.
Yeah.
But it's all the hoopla surrounding it. So I pulled up with Pat. Secret Services everywhere, bomb squad, SWAT,
surrounded.
local, Broward police,
Snipers are on the roof.
and we're just
SWAT
like,
teams.
and we're walking into our own building,
Yes.
and they're just like, "Hey, man, thanks for being here." And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a very surreal feeling. That to me is when you understand the magnitude of the situation. We're not just meeting a
God.
random dude,
Celebrity.
or even because we've had people show up with their own personal security. We've had cops show. We've had cops at the front of our. This was on another level, and it makes you realize, whoa, this is happening right now. So it makes me wonder the following: so good, so professional, so thorough. How the hell?
Yeah.
And I will never drop this. Trump was this close to not even being alive.
Yep.
Somehow, some skinny little weird dude
Yeah,
on a ladder
Yep.
shows up in Butler, Pennsylvania, and gets a shot off and hits Trump in the ear.
Yep.
Imagine if that was here, not the ear.
It's over.
It's
over. It's over.
So it makes me wonder, how did that even happen? Because the utmost professional security is what I experienced yesterday.
Like a great point, because from seeing what we saw yesterday, there's absolutely no explanation for the in-depth level of failures that happened in that place. Rob, I want to know Rob, what'd you think?
I'll give it to you.
What?
I'll give it to you. I believe there's two Secret Services. The Secret Service that was in Butler was led by a failed leader who sat in front of Congress, and she gave horrible, evasive testimony, and she got fired. And then there were the
Kimberly Cheadle.
right, and there were the agents that were not physically qualified. I'm not going to say male, female. If you are
they
big
had
enough,
Melissa McCarthy's lookalike there. I get it.
No. If you are big enough, strong enough, and fast enough, I don't care what gender you are, can you do what it takes in a moment of crisis protecting the president or any of our elected officials that have the Secret Service protection? The Secret Service of Butler, Pennsylvania was rife with people put in jobs for the wrong reasons, led by someone that shouldn't have been leading. The other one were the career men and women that were real Secret Service agents that were stunned, shocked, and became whistleblowers after the congressional testimony to say there is a ton of us back here that know what has to be done, know how to do it right, want to do it right. If this charade of leadership will get the hell out of the way. And guess what? After the congressional testimony, it seems like it has. You look around who's on there. So I believe there's two Secret Service. The one we saw at Butler, Pennsylvania, unfortunately, and then the great men and women that we just saw prepare and execute a wonderful visit.
Nice. Rob, quick question. Two-part.
He was the closest.
No, Rob was obviously the closest. Rob, what was your
in the room.
Rob from Secret Service and your experience, and then with Donald Trump, if you could share that, and then also Rob, dive into a little bit of the PBD of the actual content of the podcast.
Well, the Secret Service, to Tom's point, I do believe that you saw two separate Secret Services between what we saw the past 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and what we saw in Butler, Pennsylvania. That being said, the idea that a sloped roof can't be protected is gross negligence at the least.
Yeah.
Or
negligence.
even worse,
Yeah.
a conspiracy among collaborators.
An open door at the worst.
Yeah.
So to me, like seeing all the protocols that went in place, it blows my mind that they couldn't defend a sloped roof.
Yeah.
You keep going back to that. Oh, well, it was a sloped roof.
I love what you're saying, sloped roof. It was like
Slightly sloped.
2%
It was just sloped enough so water could run off.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It was a
like
roof.
it wasn't like a peak.
And guys, trivia question: where do shooters usually stand when they want to shoot things? On roofs. They
Yeah.
look. I mean, that's just how it happened.
By the way, also
on top of a hill, maybe in a observatory.
from the roof of the same building that the Secret Service were housed inside of. The same Secret Service that we saw go through all of these lengths to protect the president. So I don't want to sit here and get conspiratorial, but when you look at what we saw firsthand as opposed to the defense of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, it is two very different systems. As far as the content and prep, I actually went back and I looked at my email. I joined Valuetainment in September of 2021. Full House in time in December of 2021. Mm-hmm. The first email that I ever sent on behalf of this company to try and get Donald Trump on our podcast was December 9th of 2021 at 1:19 p.m. Oh. It has taken a long time and many collaborative efforts and many people who are with the company today and some people who have come and gone who have also helped get us to this point. Mm-hmm. It's amazing that we got here. When I joined the podcast, and we were in a one-floor room in Boca Raton, Florida.
Yeah.
There were less than 20 employees. We had 120,000 subscribers to PBD Podcast. And if we were lucky, we had 1,000 people watching live. Wow. Now we get on a Tuesday morning, and we have 52,000 people watching live. On Thursday, the interview goes out with Trump, and we have 108,000 people watching live. We have 2 million people. And this growth happened in 2.5, 3 years. You look at what we've grown as underneath, and I'm sorry, I know this is about Trump.
No, do it. Do your
but this
thing.
is
I love
more
it.
for me about Pat and the leader that Pat is and the team that he has assembled and the crew that we have working here because this was a collaborative effort. You look at some of the other podcasters who are the biggest podcasters in the world, Joe Rogan. When did Rogan start his podcast? 2011. When did Patrick Bet-David start his podcast?
June of 2020.
June of 2020. And right now, according to all reports from the media, the second to last interview that Donald Trump, the leading candidate for the Republican Party going into the most contentious election in United States history, the second to last podcast appearance he appears on is the PBD Podcast. And rumors are the last one he'll appear on is the Joe Rogan Experience. Wow. We're number 2 in 3 years. Wow. It took Joe Rogan 14, 15 years to get to number 1. Yeah. So we still have a long way to go, but I want to give props to Tom, to you guys, to Humberto, to Kelly, to everybody that's been a part of this, to the editors that were here. We didn't go home last night. To Deli, to I don't want to forget a single person. So to Natalia, to Deli, to Kelly, to Humberto, to Malik, to the graphics team, Daniel, that was working until 2:30 in the morning.
Brandon.
Look at Connor and Jake right here.
Brandon and I slept on these couches. Patrick was on the phone with us at 3 o'clock in the morning giving us direction on the intro. It takes a team effort. And I've done media for 25 years. I said this when we had a private meeting with the company, but I'm proud to say it today on the internets in front of people.
Plural.
This is the greatest team I've ever worked for, and this is just the beginning, and I'm so excited for the future.
Well, can I just say why I'm proud of you? Because when you joined, because very few people were in Dallas. You would know that. Then it was Boca. You joined towards the. I remember you were sitting in the back of the office. You had the last.
It was me and Mitchell, the events guy that was there for a month.
I don't even remember who that is. But look at you now, Rob. You were back then. I had my own suite.
Oh, I remember
my
that
office.
guy. Nervous
Tom,
Mitchell.
Nervous.
You were back there, and look at you now. You got your own janitor
Closet.
booth,
Yeah.
a closet, office, and Vinnie and I don't even have a desk.
We don't even. This
or
is
a pot to piss in. So congratulations to you, Rob.
And so
It's
Rob.
the only closet in the building with a big window, and by God, you got it.
Yeah.
And wait.
So Rob, go ahead.
No, can I jump on it?
Get on
like, Donald Trump yesterday gasped at Rob's ability to pull.
Oh my God.
So,
It was.
how'd you pull that up? He's like,
It was magical.
It was
Yeah.
just like, okay, but behind the scenes, guys.
You were the
one thing that-
Chartmeister.
Yeah.
The one thing you need to understand about that is that the prep for this began. I think I can speak freely and say that Brandon and I were looped in early on this, and we started on Friday researching through the weekend. Humberto was added to the research team, and I've never spent as much time with PBD as I have over the past 4 or 5 days. We're talking 5-6 hour prep sessions where we're going through to fact check the information that we're going to, because as you know, the one thing that we really want to emphasize about what we do for PBD Podcast and what we're trying to do here is we're trying to be transparent and bring truth to the things that we're reporting. And so Vinnie, Vinnie, you were part of this process as well. You were in there with us. We're going through and we're compiling stories. We're fact checking stories. We're writing questions based on the stories. We're ranking those questions. We're looking for graphics. We're compiling the research. So when we go in, it's easy to pull things up at a moment's notice when I have you, Tom, Humberto, Brandon, Kelly, you guys prepping the team. So it really was amazing team effort to get to where we're at. Again, I appreciate all of you.
And Rob, I love you to death, and I've obviously beating a dead horse when I could compliment you all freaking day because what you've become is absolutely insane. Let me ask
Guys, I would like to actually maybe start arguing and fighting.
Adam, shut up.
Love fest.
Adam, shut the hell up, you
excuse
idiot.
me.
Okay, we're back.
Excuse me. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so Rob, and I love you.
Completely left off the romantic moment. Secret Service gives Rob the cavity.
So Rob, let me ask you a question though. So Rob, Secret Service aside, we get the security part of it. The actual conversation with the president, because you're sitting literally in the room. There's multiple people in the room, including Secret Service. We can't close the vault door because of security measures. How did you feel? What did you take away? What was your biggest takeaway from him as a person, the interview itself, and the topics? Like, how would you gauge it?
I wish we had another hour and a half. My biggest takeaway was that and what's exciting, we just scratched the tip of the iceberg with President Trump. And I believe that the collaboration that happened yesterday and was aired today is the first of many. Mm-hmm. And what's exciting about that is the way that Trump came in. You can tell that, look, the guy is 78 years old. Mm-hmm. He is, I would say at this point, running harder than any 78-year-old in human history.
Ever.
The guy is in Wisconsin one day, then Texas the same afternoon. Like when we did the UFC thing, he was at a rally in Georgia, jumped on a plane, and was walking out at the main event at UFC all within 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's like there's multiple Trumps. You think there's multiple Bidens? Maybe there's multiple Trumps.
Vinny, don't answer that.
No, but hold on. I mean,
don't answer that.
To get that Trump, I mean, I think it's hard. And by the way, all fueled. Big Macs, Diet Cokes, fish fillets. Let's go.
So he comes in, and you can tell that he has been working hard. He walks in. He is a little bit quieter than normal.
Yes.
And then there was a shift in the interview about 30 minutes in where I don't know what clicked differently for Donald, but it was like, you ever hear that talent recognizes talent?
Yeah. Game recognizes
game.
Right. He did.
Get it right.
There was a moment where Trump came in with respect for Pat. He did. But there was a moment where game recognized game, and they were equals. And then the rest of the hour of the hour of the interview is the most exciting. It's the most informative.
Yes.
And there's not, like, this wasn't the guy. You watch him compared to what you watch with Kamala Harris. They're going to get out there and tell you that Donald Trump is deranged. He gets on stage and gets lost and dances for 45 minutes at a time. He was dancing because there was a medical emergency.
Two people were having like heart problems.
Exactly. So he was like, hey, I'm going to hold off and I'm going to dance and entertain before we get back to the rally. What you watched today with Pat, with Donald Trump, is that he can answer questions. He can go in depth. He is not afraid to answer tough questions. You watch Kamala get pressed, and she freaked out with Brett Baier yesterday. So don't let them sit here and tell you that Donald Trump is the unhinged lunatic that's angry. The guy I watched yesterday, he said the emotion that he feels is anger, but the anger is for what they've done to this country, for what they've done to him, what they've done to this family, but what they've done to this country. So I don't think Donald Trump is this deranged lunatic, and this is a guy that voted for Joe Biden in 2020 because I thought Donald Trump was a deranged lunatic. I've met the man. I've watched the man. I've seen him over the past 4 years, and I go, oh, he's not the crazy one. It's actually the people that call him crazy are the crazy ones, and it's total projection.
Can I build on that?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
You said, what was your biggest takeaway? You said game recognizes game. The moment, and we're all watching, live in effect, it was almost like two fighters in the beginning of a fight when they're like, and then all of a sudden, boom, someone got hit in the face. Whoa. And then the two were just jabbing, going back and forth, and then it turned into a real interview. And you always notice with Trump, at the end, when Trump he's doing the, Vinny, show me how.
His goes.
He goes like this. But when he goes like this.
Yeah.
And he gets real like this, there's something going on inside. And what Pat did, he asked him that one question about, at first, with
your
your
family,
kid,
with the relationship with the father.
They idolize you. Then because Trump was
idolized,
famous everywhere. Then he went to villainize.
Demonize.
Trump's in this humanizing area, and it's very hard to humanize Trump, but he's actually a human.
Yeah.
And you think he's just sort of a machine and a robot, but there's a lot of anger going on in there.
And rightly so, and he deserved it. And I realized something, guys, in the podcast, and you guys will see it for you guys that don't. He's sitting like this because he's in this chair, this type of chair. Because normally it's the white ones, but it wasn't that comfortable.
Is that the chair?
This is the chair.
Is that why you were sniffing the chair before? Okay, all right.
So if you guys notice, his hands were here, and then he got comfortable because then this started happening, okay? And then the emotional side, he kind of got,
It's in there.
It's in there. So guys, if you haven't, trust me, you'd want to watch this. And you know what I took away from it, Rob? I besides it being humanizing, and there was a conversation, Tom. He got to prove all those false things, all the crazy, nut, unhinged. He's losing it. He's 80. I didn't see zero. Now that you said 78, I go, holy crap! But my mom is 76. She's on point. All right, she's actually really, really good. This guy, I mean, she does funny stuff and she forgets stuff. But he was, bro, to go on that long, get in the car, leave, go do another event in the vehicle. You came, Tom, earlier in the morning, he did another event.
Univision.
But but at the end of the day, guys, this guy, yes, he said some crazy-ish throughout the years. Okay, crazy, wild, whatever. He's Donald Trump.
Eating the dogs.
He's a New Yorker, whatever. But the message, the what he cares about, America first. It's undeniable. As much as you want to try to hate him, or as much as you're brainwashed to hate this guy, the numbers don't lie. Tom, what you're saying? Numbers?
Words talk, numbers scream.
And his numbers, guess what, are screaming through the freaking roof. You cannot tell me, you can't tell yourself, even if you're a Trump hater, you can't lie to yourself that this past 4 years has been a complete poop show. I don't care who you are. You can't debate me on this, okay? 4 years of Trump, 4 years of Biden, Harris. It's undeniable, guys. And we're going to get into the Brett Baier interview, which I am shocked. Even Trump said in our PBD podcast, he goes, I don't think he's going to be hard. I don't think he's going to be hard on her. He did the complete opposite. He freaking went in. And you want to talk about wrapping up? Her people, within 5 or 10 minutes, Brett Baier said, we're like, good. And he was like, no. Keep going. You guys got to see a side of her that was angry. It was bitter. It was vindictive. But what's the Googling search right now?
Testy.
Yeah, she is testy.
She's feisty.
She's testy. No. It said testy, which is another word. You know what that word testy is?
Did you get
It's
into
the B
that
word.
whole interview? Did you watch the whole interview with Brett Baier?
I watched it this morning, yeah.
Are we going to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I got some clips, too. But I just want to make sure. So, Tom, do you have anything else on the Trump? Because I want to know what you and Humberto, what you guys felt about the podcast.
Well, I thought that basically Pat said it best in the intro. He said, look, if you're already decided for Trump and you are on his side for this election, you're going to like the interview. If you are not in favor of Trump, I think you'll also like the interview because it was fair, it was open, and it was complete. Mm-hmm. And to the people, the few that were undecided, and in the podcast, Trump said, I don't think there's that many undecideds left right now. That may be internal research, it may be things on his team. I respect it. But I think that what came across is that people could see a leader, people could see a BS filter in their own minds. That guy doesn't look crazy. That guy, you're telling me. So later that same day, Kamala Harris was on Fox, interviewed by Brett Baier, and kept interrupting herself just to say, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. But we're talking about Trump. And, he's crazy. Anybody that, you don't even have to have a fair mind to watch the podcast and say, this guy wants to lead. He's got plans to lead. He's specifics, and he certainly doesn't seem crazy. Mm-hmm. He seems very, very measured and very, very, very straight. So my feeling is that I think that if there are undecided out there, they would have seen this and looked at it very, very positively because it's, every interview like this is an opportunity to see a little something you didn't see. Just like the J.D. Vance, the VP debate
with Walz.
What did America get? An opportunity to see something they didn't see. Yeah, with Vance and Walz. And the Republicans came away with, according to the polls, more enthusiasm for Vance and seeing the wisdom of the choice.
Mm-hmm. And Humberto, what were you going to say? And then, Rob, you want to say something?
To what Tom's point, my wife is one of those independent voters. She's kind of in the middle right now. She's leaning way more towards Trump than she is Kamala. The text that she just sent me, the comments from Trump's interviewers are amazing. People are saying this is Trump's best interview, and he really needed this. He looked calm and casual and looked like he was able to be himself. That is the independent voters' takeaway.
In real time, we're watching the real polls because your wife is she's not a Trump loving.
No, she has voted Democrat in the past. In fact, her and her sisters have this ongoing debate because she's one of 4 sisters. One of the sisters is pro for Kamala Harris.
Does she have orange hair?
No, but the only position, this is the best part, the only position that she can explain is abortion.
Of course.
My wife has a sister who's a lesbian.
Yeah.
who is a diehard Trump supporter.
Does she have orange hair and a
No,
mullet?
but she is all in on the Trump thing.
Okay.
So the one person who...
Well, because she's not really going to have an abortion because, the lesbian.
I mean,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how math works,
But
or biology works, but
Very
typically
interesting.
scissoring isn't the
You ask somebody.
way to
Yeah.
get
I
it.
don't really want to think about her.
yeah,
concern.
don't. Just let him finish.
But you think about somebody who identity politics could play to, right? Because of their sexual
Yes.
orientation.
Yeah, of course.
And instead of letting identity politics play to them and they choose to align themselves with Democrats because they're the gay-friendly, abortion-friendly party, this person who is gay is looking strictly at policy and going, you know what, the personality doesn't matter to me. The policies that Trump is offering is way better than anything Kamala's offering because Kamala isn't offering anything.
Yeah.
And when she does offer something, it's something that's grandiose that she doesn't explain how it can be paid for. So I think these people are the people that are making their way towards Trump, who in 2020, they rode the fence and they went with Biden and Kamala because they were the less abrasive party. And even now they're like, I can't
can't
do 4 more years of this.
Can I tell you the most important conversation to possibly being had? You said your wife has 3 other sisters?
Yes.
There's 4 of them.
And one's a
One's a lesbian, one's a married, one's yada, yada, yada. Those women right there are going to control the fate of our country because that, to women, is by far and away the most important
topic.
It just is. And I get it. I mean, I have a sister, I have a mother, I have a grandma. But at the end of the day, with the border, with what's going on around the world, with inflation, with immigration, with all these policies out there, from a dude's perspective, abortion is not in our top 3, top 5. So there is a gender divide, gender gap between what's important to everyday Americans and then a lot of women. And even married women are breaking towards Trump. So it's typically single, liberal women it's abortion over everything. And it's a very, very emotional decision for them, and I get it. And I hope that those women have those types of conversations to talk amongst themselves, because I've learned this the hard way. Women don't want to hear men talking to them. Women gotta feel it out for themselves to figure out what works best for them. And I would hope that a lot of these women who are undecided come to the realization that, I'd rather live in a safe, secure, prosperous, amazing country. And then maybe my abortions aren't exactly as triggered as.
And Rob, I know you want to say something, and I don't know about you guys. You know what one of the what I'm attracted to, voter wise, people wise. That's number one. Number 2, people in the gay. I hate LGBT. I'm not saying that. Gay men and women that are pro-Trump. That to me, especially minority gays, because they didn't drink the shitty, lying Democratic Kool-Aid. They didn't let them. They were just like, guys, listen.
Vinny,
as a gay Jewish guy, I gotta tell you, this is something.
You're a gay Jew.
I think it's something different. They tasted socialism. If you go down to Hialeah, anywhere, in Miami, you ask any Cuban, they're like all out with Trump because they know what it is.
Yes.
They know where we're heading. I know where we're heading.
Ooh.
I know where we're heading. I've seen a nice country. Chile was the #1 country in South America. It took one leftist government to take it down 3 pegs, So we know America is bigger, but that doesn't mean it can't fail or it can go down a peg. We have adversaries like China. We have adversaries like Russia. And it can be taken away any minute now. So you need to fight like hell. That's what it is.
Can I tell you why what Humberto said is so important? Because I'm born and raised in Miami, and I totally understand that perspective. So the Cuban vote has dominated Miami and South Florida politics, and they came in with Reagan, but it's not just the Cubans anymore. The Venezuelans,
100%,
who have fled Maduro, they're coming in, and if you're looking at polls, Tom, you could probably speak to this.
Well, let Tom go right after this.
The Latino vote, the Hispanic vote, has getting closer and closer and closer to Trump's favor. And if you would have told me that with everything Trump said in 2016, they're not sending their best. They're sending their... And now that they're almost winning the Latino vote, because there's a lot of people coming to America that are like, socialism, I don't play this game, not happening in America.
Wait, Before you go, Humberto, there was a study that was just released. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. It's specifically about South Florida Latino voters.
Yes.
Marist College study found that 58% of Hispanic voters in Florida are now leaning towards voting for President Donald Trump in the 2024 election.
Yes.
Here in South Florida.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Wow.
that's not
there.
shocking to me. Because
no,
the Cuban and the Venezuelan.
Yeah, and you
they
nailed
don't
it.
like a
Like
socialismo.
they're fleeing a place
Yes.
that they hate the communists, and then they're coming here. Then you have Kamala Harris, whose father is a Marxist. That, by the way, we can't find this guy, not even for one interview. It's not like they're lying to you. It's not like we're making this up. Tom, you have some of these stats for the polling and everything, right?
Yeah, you know what? Words talk, numbers scream, and we can all talk about this. But the last recorded poll is a speculation, right? Like
Yes,
a
of
weather
course. That's a
report,
poll.
kind of like a hurricane report. Where do we think the hurricane's going? That's a poll. It says the results of an election, when we can go look at it, there's numbers screaming, right?
Yes.
So what can we do? We can go, oh, wait a minute. Let's go to the governor's election less than 2 years ago. Or exactly 2 years ago.
Yes.
And let's go take a look at what happened. And let's go take a look at what under DeSantis' leadership, led by Hispanic voters, Dade County went for DeSantis. There were three sub-counties in Florida that were significant. One was Orange County in Orlando that went Democrat, and I believe Broward County went Democrat. But you see, there was a great swell. And what were the people saying in exit polls? First of all, we have the numbers. So we know how they voted. So when they're telling us things about how they voted, we can believe them because the numbers say, well, Dade County doesn't go unless the Hispanic voters go. What do you think? And they were speaking very loudly. And they were saying, we immigrated with great difficulty, many of us, as true refugees, not just, who are you? Can I get a free phone and some stuff if I say refugee? Yeah, sure. Okay, refugee. Okay, I am I'm a political, I see political.
A political refugee.
I'm an assailant.
Asylum seeker.
I'm an assailant. No, not assailant, Dad.
Oh,
asylum.
yeah.
Asylum. I'm sorry.
political
Asylum.
prisoner.
Yeah.
From Cuba.
And so they go there, and guess what? The people are saying, we worked our butt off to get to the freedom of America, to get here, and to come here legitimately through these things. And then all these other people are just like showing up. The legal immigrants, the Hispanic legal immigrants over 35 down in Miami, and you see this, do not care for what is happening with the mob walking across.
Tom,
at all.
Myself, okay, I did everything legally. I worked my whole life because it was my dream to come here. Went to school, never had a parking ticket, never got arrested, did all my degrees and whatever, just to come here, okay? I spent over $15,000 out of my own pocket to pay for a lawyer, to pay for travel fees, to pay for everything. Wow. And then I come in, and then I see this guy just jumping the line.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're stupid, my friend.
Yeah.
So what you
what
should
those
do
voters did?
is go back to Mexico and walk in this way and get everything gratis for free. Just stupid,
I would have gotten money. Like if you see all
Yeah.
the loans, like house payments and everything. Like what's the point?
Yeah. I want to
Well,
ask.
hang on, let me.
Well, how dare you
let
do
me
things
add
the
one more
right
thing
way,
to it.
Humberto?
Yeah, hold
There's
on.
no
Now-
incentive.
How dare you wait in line and do it the right
That's
way?
the problem. There's no incentive to do things the right way.
But now,
backwards.
now you know what? I'll put a period at the end of the sentence for you. It also comes with great leadership. And Mayor Francis Suarez has led economically, led the diversity of Miami, and there's a huge reason why DeSantis carried Dade County. I had the privilege to sit down with Xavier, with Andrew, and there was a reception. There's only about 12 people there.
Xavier is his dad.
Xavier's dad, the mayor emeritus. He was mayor of Miami.
He was the mayor of Miami 40 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's why he's emeritus.
Yeah.
It's just like tremendous people.
Family legacy.
He's very well read, has written a lot of great books if you have any chance to read the stuff that Xavier has written. And what was very interesting, they were constantly talking about the bright future for Miami and where they were taking it and how crypto and the entrepreneurial community, those weren't campaign slogans. Those are foundational elements that they want to bring to Miami. And guess what? The voters see it. They see great leadership. They see great success coming from this wonderful family of tremendous Hispanic heritage. And then everybody on the outside looks at Florida and they're all confused. Wow, how can the Hispanics suddenly one election suddenly show up? Gosh, I don't. No, you don't understand it. The leadership of the Suarez family, the leadership that's been in Miami, and everything else that's come down to it, that is how DeSantis carries Dade County. That is how the entire state of Florida proudly steps to the conservative side to say, I want to do it myself. I want to have the pride of doing it myself. I want the esteem of seeing it grow up my family. And you know what? You folks that jumped the line, are really not into that. And it's very interesting to me how Florida, if you take a look at it, look at the number of illegals that are in Florida that have come across the borders versus the other states. Texas doesn't put them on buses and send them here.
Nope.
Texas puts them on buses and sends them
Martha
to New York
Vineyard.
and say, why don't you go check in with the mayor that says he's a sanctuary city?
Exactly.
Eric Adams will have a phone for you, an EBT card, all kinds of things. Get there before winter so you can get your free housing because it does get cold.
Of course, yeah, it does. Good.
But Tom, you like baseball? I'm gonna let you into a Latino secret. You know what the perfect place is? White rules, Latino parties. That's why Miami is the greatest city to ever exist.
This is where I've lived my whole life.
Only
Don't
comparable
let 'em
to
know.
Rome. Like
Let
it's
Tom
absolutely
know in on the
amazing.
secret.
White rules.
White
tell you
rules,
something.
Latino party. and
Latino
Humberto,
party.
if I start to go to the clubs in Miami now and I see Tom the Biz Doc show up, I'm blaming you,
gonna
okay?
do this.
Tom, you stay home, all right?
okay.
Let me do what I do.
And so going back to the PBD podcast interview, the complete opposite. You want to have a contrast of polar opposites. So right when we're finished, right, Humberto, Tom is like, oh my God, look at this. And because mind you, when they told me, in my mind, I'm like, oh, Brett Baier, he goes after, Obama. He went after freaking Trump. He said he was vicious towards him. I was very curious. Tom was like, oh my God, Brett Baier's kicking her butt. And we actually have Connor, if we could pull up one of these freaking videos, I think the first one is
so many.
dude,
So many.
the entire interview was just a fight for her to BS the entire time. Which one's this one, Connor? Is this her saying, she's like, you know what I'm talking about, and then that's her. She says, he goes, no, you don't know what I'm talking about. I think this is her new way forward. Please play this time. I want to get your guys' reaction.
She got testy.
Frankly, exhausted of Brett.
More than
People are
70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for
Oh,
office.
God.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Look,
Madam
you
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm
This
talking
interview
about.
brought to you
and
by
I
Tito's
both know
and
what I'm
Tonic.
I actually
talking
don't.
about.
What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, frankly, exhausted.
Oh, I love that. Makes me. Well, you see, like the anger, the attitude, the like. She doesn't want to hear. You're talking about turning the page. You've been in, and guys, this is what she's running on. Donald Trump has been, and I'm going to play a video towards the end about that. Donald, how many times she said Donald Trump in the video? It's actually pretty funny. And then the next video, I think she's talking about the border. Go ahead, Rob. You gonna say something?
To the point that some people look at that and be like, well, Donald Trump always bitches about Kamala Harris. There's a reason why he has a reason to bitch.
Yeah.
She has been in office for 4 years, has done nothing to make the average American life better for any citizen in the country. So when Donald Trump gets up there and complains about the current administration, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense for somebody who is in the current administration to get up on stage and then bitch about somebody who was in office 4 years ago and is not in office now.
Almost 8 years ago.
Well, yeah, took office 8 years ago,
Yeah.
left office 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of confused. I want to get Adam's take. What do you think she's trying to do? Is she trying to cop out or put him in line? He's like, you're mainstream media. You need to do as you're told, or is she just trying to escape the question?
I'm going to have a totally different take on this thing than probably most of you.
What?
Good.
So I actually think she did well here. And I find her to be incredibly annoying. I'm not voting for her. But if Donald Trump did this exact same thing, we would say, he's a fighter. Look at him. He's fighting for America.
Right.
So now we're basically saying, look at her. She's being testy. She's being feisty. You know who the most annoying person in this interview was? For a change, it wasn't her. It was actually Brett Baier. He actually wouldn't let her finish. He was super annoying. But it's part of it, because how you're seeing what you're trying to do right there?
No.
See how annoying that is? No. Right? You see how annoying that is? See how that is? But when there's people trying to rap you, because you saw the last 5 minutes of this interview, he's like, oh, they're rapping me. They're rapping me. This is the beauty of what we do on PBD Podcast. This is the beauty of podcasts. When you have 90 minutes, when you have 2 hours, you're going to get to your questions. The whole issue that people have with debates is it's cans, it's 2 minutes, it's quick. They probably said, listen, we're going to give you a half hour. And they probably negotiated the hell out of that. They wanted an hour. We'll give you 15 minutes. We can't do 15 minutes. They settled on 28 minutes or whatever it was. But at minute 12, they're trying to wrap. So she actually couldn't get a word out. Now, from a policy perspective, of course she's, bobbing and weaving, because she can't. 80% of Americans say we're on the wrong track. She's like, Donald Trump, of course. Yeah. But he's trying to hold her feet to the fire. But it actually made her look a little, dare I say it, like,
you know what?
Strong.
It made her
fair.
But he was annoying.
Okay, but
you have to be a certain type of annoying to be more annoying than Kamala Harris.
Okay, but are you ready for this? And I'm gonna push back, because I think this is the first interview that we have seen where the person, you call it holding her foot to the fire, I call it making her answer the question. Stay on point. What? Ready for this? Your border, it's a mess. People, and we're going to get to it, guys. It's a little bit emotional, too. You're letting these people in. People were raped and murdered because of you. She's like, well, we tried to pass a border bill. And he goes, no. These women were raped and murdered before this whole thing happened. And she's still blaming Trump. But Adam, this is a real interview. By the way, I'm not a big fan of Brett Baier, but this is an interview where she wasn't given the questions. Allegedly, some earrings of somebody telling you what to do. This was raw. It was somebody from the other side. And guess what? She stepped into a freaking beehive and was like, oh
Hornet's
my.
nest?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Adam, I can see where somebody could see that. I think it's someone saying, no, I'm not going to let you blame Trump for everything. This is your administration with that creepy, sleepy freak, Joe Biden. Stay on point. Answer the question. And then I'm going to go to you guys, Humberto. This next one, Tom, and I want to know your thing. This is her action and reaction, her border policy reversal's impact on illegal immigration and Border Patrol endorsing Trump. Play this video.
Repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration.
No answer.
Before.
No answer.
Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist. They will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Brett. Well, that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90-plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days.
Exactly.
Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security.
Yeah.
Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated.
Yeah,
and I get it. They want support.
Bitch, you're not giving it to them.
They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working.
By the way, okay, now, I have to show this video, and I want you guys to respond. So she's talking about a border security bill. This next video is her fake-ass apology to one of the mothers who lost a child to an illegal immigrant before this policy was put into place. Is this the one? Go ahead, play this one.
This election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Boom.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss.
It's your
I'm so sorry for her loss.
No.
Sincerely.
Yeah, sure.
But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in
her?
all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time,
And
Wait.
this-
Well, yeah, go ahead, pause. Go ahead.
When you say the word but, it negates everything you said before. I feel sorry for this woman.
But Trump.
Let's discard everything I just said because we're going to focus on Donald Trump.
Yeah.
By the way, the same border security bill that they're saying Trump tanked and didn't want the Republicans to fix, the reason why was because it also included $60 billion to fund the war in Ukraine.
I'm so
maybe they have a problem with us continuing to fund foreign wars,
Yeah.
and they filled that bill with, what do they call it, pork? It was a pork-filled bill, which is why the Republicans didn't want it passed, and the reason why it was filled with pork was because of the Democrats.
Yeah, and Bob, great point, which I had this put up on my phone. I want everybody at home, okay, who is on the fence, that doesn't, that kind of is like, wait a minute, he did turn it down. Let me explain to you, Rob just made a great point. That border bill that these talking losers, these talking heads keep saying, well, we gave them a bill. Karine Jean-Pierre said it too. We had a bill to close the border and none of these people would have been killed and raped and murdered and taken your jobs. That border bill included $60 billion to Ukraine, including Israel and Taiwan. Ready for this? Codify catch and release, let in 1.8 more illegal immigrants, fund sanctuary cities, fund NGO moving illegals, lawyers to illegals, work permits to illegals, nothing to deport illegals, no immediate wall funds, weak asylum screening, and all the money to Ukraine. So when they're like, hey, we want to close the border, but Trump said no, bullshit. Okay? It's bullshit. Okay? Trump told them, don't give in because what? To close the border, we have to do all this shit to the people that are already here that are going to vote Democrat. Absolutely not. I'm 100%. What do you think, Tom?
It's absurd, right? It's absolutely absurd. You know, she happens to think that the voters are dumb enough to believe what she's saying. That is the only logical explanation out of it. It's hubris. It's cocky. It's arrogant. It's insulting to the average voter that can't simply look up and see, wait a minute, you guys were there. So now you're going to say that you worked so hard to get the presidency only to say, oh, I can't do crap because it's Congress. So you're basically saying that you're just a gelding. You're a horse that's become castrated. You can do nothing. Then why are you running so hard for the position? Why aren't you running for staying in the Senate? Why don't you stay in the House of Representatives if you've got all this power?
Yep.
You know, oh, Congress, that's the way the system works, Brett. You can't have it both ways, woman.
Yep.
Damn. Well, look, I really enjoy being a part of what I sometimes call the Trump circle jerks, but I'm going to push back on all you guys right now.
This wasn't a trickle jerk. We're just
Little
putting
bit.
her,
I get
we're
it.
keeping her
So,
on her bullshit.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And this is
Adam, that's a heck of a preamble. Where are you going here?
Yeah.
This is where I'm going with this. Again, two things can be true at once. I find her annoying. I'm not voting for her. But at the same time, you got to give her at least a little bit of credit on going on Fox News. She's realizing like, oh my God, my sugar high's done. You know, I was coronated. Nobody elected me in terms of being president. I get the VP on the ticket. I get it. She went on Fox News. She's getting better. Don't look now. This is not the same lady that was like, if you do podcast number 1, to podcast. You're almost on number 100. How much better are you at podcasting, hosting this podcast on podcast 91 now?
On top of all the PBD podcast. Yeah, for sure.
How much better are you?
I'm way better.
So the point is she's going to be getting better. And thank goodness for Trump that she doesn't have 6 months of doing media campaign. She's only been doing this for 2 months. I mean, as the job. And she's slowly and surely going to be getting better. But is it going to be enough to get her over the top? Just think about it. Trump has been doing media for 10 years in terms of candidacy. But 40 years, he's media savvy. He knows how to play the game. She's just learning how to play this game.
Well, that's
I'm
terrible.
just saying.
She's been in politics,
but not
2016.
No. Okay, you don't think there's a little bit of difference, but scrutiny in the spotlight between a attorney general or a congresswoman or a senator or a vice president versus the president? Come on, bro. So she's sitting in this spotlight for the first time ever.
But you also
and
want to
she's
give her
finding her
credit
comfort
for
zone.
doing something she should.
I'm
doing,
giving
but
her
she's doing
zero. Listen, I'm giving her zero credit for the open border, for the disaster, for the fact that she's equivocating Hamas to Israel. There's so many things to complain about.
Yes.
But it's undeniable. She's
giving her zero
actually
credit.
getting.
You mean you're giving
she's
her full
actually
blame?
getting a little bit better.
Okay, but
It's the same rationalization of someone who hates Trump, and you can't say, well, give him at least a little bit of credit for unemployment and inflation. No, he's the devil. It's like, all right, well, then you're not rational.
Okay, well-
You have zero ability to applaud and criticize both sides. Okay. I have a unique ability to be like, Trump's good here. She sucks here. Trump's not that good here. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying, the Trump circle jerk. We just want to go around and say she's bad and he's the best ever.
Well, that's
we
why,
can do that.
Well, that's why I disagree.
But it's nuanced.
But the Trump circle jerk, that statement has nothing to do with that. With this,
no, it has to do with this.
No. But hold on. I don't know how you equivocate that to us seeing an interview. Which, mind you, we were in awe yesterday, saying, "Why in God's name? Okay, why in God's name, as a tactics point of view, would they or her team, her handlers, the people that tell Biden what to do are the same people with her? She's a freaking puppet." Why would you agree this late in the game, Adam, to go on Fox? You know what Brett Baier is going to do. He's not giving you the questions. This is raw dog out in the open. Why would you agree to that? It's almost as if you want her to fail because, Adam, they know who she is.
Who wants her to fail?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Why in God's name would you, as Kamala's team, let her go like this, raw, unscripted, when you know, Adam, this isn't a secret. She's not smart. Hold on. She has zero policies. This guy was going to push her. Why would you push her out there into the open? It's almost as if when they put Biden out in front of Trump, they knew this disaster was going to come. They knew he was going to eat him alive because Biden he's been cooked for 3 years.
So what's your point?
My point is, you're acting as, she stood her ground and you saw the good points. I didn't see that. I saw somebody that was ill-prepared, had zero policy, had nothing to talk about, and just showed her bitterness, and she wasn't the Trump circle jerk because everything she said went back to Trump. Actually, Connor, go to that video is that video that I sent Kelly in here where it's like Trump dancing? Keep going down.
Are you saying that
No.
her team
Down lower.
wants her to lose, so they set her up?
I don't know.
And put
Why
her on
would you?
Fox News?
Why would you put her out there?
Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know because why? By the way,
But no, I'm asking a genuine question. What are you saying? That she shouldn't have gone on to Fox News?
I'm saying this.
Trump goes on CNN.
I'm saying no.
Trump,
Adam,
you go into enemy
you're
territory.
asking me a question. If I was
play
her
away
team,
games. That's
if
how it
I was
works.
her team, 1,000%, I would have said we're not doing this. How about this? It wouldn't even have come to that because how did this help her? Did this help her? This late in the game? Hold on. With Biden, you keep him in the basement. You kept that loser pervert in the basement.
I fully disagree. I think you listen, enough of preaching to the choir. You have to go convert people. That's why Trump is so good.
Did she convert
Because he'll
anybody?
go. I don't know.
I don't think so.
But maybe.
No.
Because the Fox viewers are not necessarily voting for Kamala. But maybe she gets a couple women, the Nikki Haley voters, older women. I don't know. There's strategy to it. To me, it's intellectually lazy to be like, her team wants her to lose, so they put her on Fox. That's it.
Adam.
So that means Trump's team wants him to lose when he does a town hall on CNN.
No, because they know he has substance. He'll kick ass.
You know
So
the
lazy.
the last
So
time
intellectually lazy.
someone from that administration has been on Fox News. It was Joe Biden in 2020. Why would you start doing it now?
Yes.
Because they're about to lose the election.
That's not gonna
and
help
they're
on a
playing
tactic
desperate.
point.
I'm about to lose my
They're
leg.
playing
I'm
desperate.
Yeah, by the way, and let me just.
I can't believe you're actually saying that her own internal team, wink, wink, wants her to lose, so they set her up with Fox
Can I ask you a
News
question?
so that she could look bad and lose the
Crazy,
election.
almost like there's a precedent for them doing the same exact thing in this election cycle.
Yeah.
The same exact. They did that. What
They
you
did it to
described,
Biden.
They
You act
did
like-
what they did to Joe Biden.
Yeah, you acting like we're the
Yeah,
C
because
word.
they
people.
wanted to get someone in that had a
Let's
chance.
turn down the emotion a minute and just look at.
I'm actually being logical here. Like,
No,
you go to other people's. Did you ever see the interview? Here we go. Listen, riddle me this,
Go
there,
ahead.
Batman.
Go ahead.
Patrick Bet-David, you think pretty highly of him?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a guy out
guy.
there called CoffeeZilla. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who's he?
He's a
Think
coffee.
about it.
He loves coffee.
He loves coffee, and he's also a monster. Basically, his whole agenda is doing hit pieces and exposés on big-time celebrities and influencers. And he did this. Was 2021, right around probably when you started. You could fact check it. When PBD went on CoffeeZilla, find me the date. I guarantee you it's like Q4 2021. What's my point? Fact check me. He did a hit piece on PBD being an MLM. So Pat, did you see what this guy put out there for you? Find the date. Rob?
That's always Marco. I'm looking.
Okay. So why would Pat go on to enemy territory on a guy who's exposing him and is going to set him up for failure and has questions ready to go to dismantle him? Pat goes, yeah, all right, cool. I'll do a live with you tonight.
April 22nd, 2021.
Okay, so Q2 2020. I had my year right. Pat goes, listen, I'm not scared. I know what I do right. I'm going to go on to this. And what's my point? 90% of his audience is going to hate me. But there's going to be 10% that say, I respect this guy. I didn't like him before, but I'm going to go try and change some hearts and minds. So you go into an interview like this and say, I'm not getting 100% to vote for me, but can I get 1%? Can I get 5%? Can I get 10%? This is PBD. Why would you go on to a guy that does hit pieces for you? It's because you've already won the MAGA base. You need to go convert people. So when someone goes into enemy territory, whether it's Biden going on Fox or Kamala going on Fox or Trump going on CNN, to me, there's a strategy there. And it's intellectually lazy to be like, her team just wants her to lose.
But
that's
Adam,
the reason that Pat went on CoffeeZilla.
Adam, you're assuming that it's a fair and balanced playground. Out of
I'm
all
not
the
assuming any fair.
out of
I'm
all,
assuming you're going on enemy territory. That's the exact opposite of fair and balanced.
There's one
It's skewed
channel
and not in your favor.
One channel that leans slightly right, and there is like how many? 8 channels?
Slightly right.
Fox News.
Slightly?
Slightly.
They're
In what world is
conservative.
it
Wait, they're
slightly right?
conservative, but they're not right-wing freaking QAnon.
Don't they have Newsmax? Don't they have OAN? There's other channels out there that are actually
they're conservative. No, but Fox News is not what Fox News was 10 years ago. Shit, 5
Are
years
we
ago.
saying that Fox is slightly right?
No,
a little bit?
they're
They're
conservative.
conservative. They're the right. What are we talking
Okay,
about?
but they're not right wingers. They're not, dude. They call out everybody's
Yep.
BS. They call out everybody's BS. Everybody's.
They do?
Yeah, by the way,
for years-
I guess Sean Hannity's still undecided.
Sean Hannity. Look, I don't trust Sean Hannity.
Well, but remember when Trump first came up, everyone at Fox hated him.
talking crap to him.
They were all talking crap. Some of them apologized, like Tucker Carlson.
Yep.
Some other ones still on the other side. You know,
There's a difference between the Murdochs, Roger Ailes, rest in peace, and the Talking Heads and the Tuckers and the Sean Hannitys and the Laura Ingrams and the general workforce from Fox. Listen, Fox is mostly conservative, not a little bit conservative. They're conservative. That's just like saying MSNBC is just a little bit to the left. Dude, they're hanging out on the end zone out
Come
here
on,
on the
Adam,
left.
Adam, they pushed the Iraq war. They pushed the Afghanistan war.
Yep,
They
they're all-
lied to like conservative principles so much. 20 years of lying to conservatives.
Yeah, they also lied about the 2020 election and got sued for almost $1 billion from Dominion voting. So
well, that goes into a whole different lawfare with Dominion and their machines. Which, by the way, Pat just had a guy on that proved that you could hack into any machine.
Hari Hursty. You should go and watch.
Allegedly.
You should
Allegedly.
go. You should go
bottom
and
line
watch
for
that
me,
podcast.
bottom line for me, 10 seconds. I think it's a softball interview when she goes on Call Her Daddy. Of course, when she goes on Fox News to get interviewed, Brett Baier, congratulations, good for you going and doing that. It's the same thing as why Pat openly respects someone like Bernie Sanders, even though he vehemently disagrees with 99% of his policies, but at least respects the fact that he has the balls to go onto other people's platforms.
Adam, but balls,
so good for her in this regard.
Balls, but when you go into battle, you have to be prepared. Your swords have to be sharpened. Your freaking armor has to be tight and legitimate. She doesn't have any of that. So Pat can
You're trying to tell me that she doesn't have balls?
No, Pat can
I don't know. I don't even know what a woman is at
Pat
this point.
can go into enemy territory because Pat's a warrior and has all the shit with him. Pat is ready to go because he has all the information, he has all the ammunition. She doesn't have it. So, well, hold on. So for you to pretend like the Democratic Party wouldn't wheel out somebody to make them look stupid, I don't know what their motives are. That's exactly what they did to Joe Biden.
2 weeks before an election?
How many months ago was Joe Biden?
Yeah,
they did the switcheroo.
So are you So let's go there. Are you saying that they're trying to do a switcheroo on her now?
Well, can I ask you a question?
No,
What's
answer
the
that.
October surprise? What can the October surprise be?
That she's a man or that she's...
I don't know, but let me...
Oh, guys. This has
the
suddenly
point?
become the unusual shout specs. So let's see if we can maybe just step into look at a couple things like this. Right? Now then, you can argue, okay, she's going out trying to find other votes. Clearly she was. Anything they do right now, they are strategically trying to find a vote or to lock in a vote if that vote maybe
is Trump.
on the ground.
That's what you should be doing.
Okay, so, right. So now then, there is an angle here. And the angle here is there's a precedent that we know Nancy Pelosi was, if not the ringleader, she was the lead enabler to ensure that Biden went into that July debate with Trump.
Yes.
We know it now. People have not only leaked it, they've commented about it. Pelosi said, we're worried about down ballot. We're worried about losing the White House and losing the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
So guess what? Let him go. We know what's going to happen. We're not getting along with the White House. We're not getting along with the campaign. All these now are facts. I'm just reciting facts.
Yes.
And guess what happened? Exactly what you would think happened in the debate. Biden looked tired. He had prepared all day for 2 days, and he's losing his faculties.
He's lost it. We know that. Yeah.
That's right. And the exact output they wanted took place. Looked really bad. It gave them all the ammunition they need until suddenly a letter appears, not even on White House letterhead, that said, "Dear Mom, how bad, so sad, I'm out of here," right? Okay, so we have all of the mechanism in the establishment took those steps with Biden, and now we see it's true. Speculated, everybody said it was speculation and assumption. 60 days later, now we can see just how true it was. Isn't it interesting, not just, and let me step on something here, Adam, not just the Fox interview. Let's go look at what's been happening the last 72 hours. There have been mainstream media coming out. Saturday Night Live was running skits, and NBC turns Saturday night skits on and off. Somebody in this room has a friend that's part of the cast, and we know that sometimes you're not allowed to go certain places with the skits. You don't pick on certain things.
Yeah, of course.
Right? The mothership, which is NBC, says, no, maybe we don't do that one. So there is a little bit of an invisible hand there controlling the satire and the parody and the narrative that comes out. We've seen a lot of things that have happened since last week to now. Saturday Night Live, a lot of things. Why is it after quantitatively we had 21 days with not one negative story on her in any of the four mainstreams, and I include CNN with the three majors, not one. It was 21 days after the shift from Biden. Not one negative story came from the majors on her while they were attempting to support and put wind in the sails of the shift. What is happening the last week? The last week, there's a lot of negatives coming. Now, could an October surprise suddenly be Hillary and Kamala steps out? that is a huge undertaking. But I think it's kind of weird that the gatekeepers are no longer keeping the gate the way they were in those first 21 days now. Why not? They all want her to win. Why are they not?
So I agree with everything you're saying.
And why would you let
what's
her
your
go
point
on,
with this?
why would you let her go on the Fox for 5% of incremental voters with the risk of looking
like
the
that.
way she did?
Do you think question for you? And
It's
because
either-
I want to hone in on your point.
Here's my point.
Do you think
Here's
she
my
has
point.
say in
Never
where she goes?
attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by pride or stupidity. I think maybe they had a lot of pride going in there. We could do this. She can handle this. We could do this. In the middle of campaigns, listen to what Cuomo says. Listen to what Francis Suarez says. You get surrounded by yes men, and sometimes you can't hear outside the room.
Do you think she had any say into where she was going?
I don't think so.
No say?
I think so.
So if she didn't want to do this, she would say, they're saying, no, you're doing it?
They say
You don't think that she has say into where she goes
I
or
think
not?
she's got a lot less say than Obama or Trump or Biden did in their
I don't
campaigns.
disagree that she has less say than
a lot less say.
an actual president.
I think-
But do you think she doesn't have say with?
No,
If she said, "I don't want to go on Fox
Do I
News.
think it was her idea?
I don't want to go on
No.
Call Her
Do I
Daddy."
think it's her
You think
strategy?
that you
No.
think there's
Do
someone
I
that says
think
you're
she-
going?
Yes, I think she was
Do you think
talked
Trump
into it.
has a 100% say of where he goes and doesn't go?
I think he is the
100%?
He's the
What
final
did he
call
say
he has.
yesterday? He said, I was
she's not
talked
the final
into.
call? I'm just trying to understand how
Well,
we're getting.
but you're
going
asking,
here.
let
I
us-
think
let
she
us
was
say it.
talked into it, and then you heard what Trump said yesterday to us. Well, I was kind of talked into Chicago, but because I'm like, now I'm getting interviewed by this guy, but I know he can be kind of negative.
Yeah.
But I went along with it, and it turned out very interesting because I was able to counter his viewpoint.
Because he did well, but it could have been very bad because that guy was trying to be vindictive with Bloomberg,
Exactly.
right?
But
But he handled it well.
Do I think she was talked? Do I think it was her idea? Hell no. Do I think she really wanted to do it? Hell no. Do I think she was convinced to do it out of pride and hubris on the campaign? Yeah. Because if it's not pride and hubris, then they're trying to set her up. And we're back in July, and that's a pretty big mountain.
Yeah.
So, but go deeper because I want to fully understand what you're saying. Are you saying that there's a mechanism that says, listen, with 3 weeks to go, 2 weeks to go, we actually want to supplant Kamala and get Hillary in? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying,
or a
if
different
it's,
candidate?
If it's not pride and hubris, if it's not pride and hubris and just terrible decision making, then what's on the other side? The precedent of Biden. And I just said that's a large mountain
So
to
are
climb.
you saying that they're going to get her out and bring Biden in? I don't understand.
I
what
didn't
you guys
say
are
that. I
saying,
said
right?
you heard me. You heard what I said, and you're trying to wrap it.
I'm actually.
What
What are you solving for? That they're trying to make her lose?
I'm saying
that they want a different
if it's
candidate?
not
What are we
pride,
saying right
hubris, and stupidity, then it's like Biden 2.0, which is an incredibly crazy mountain to climb.
And Rob, what were you going to say?
Hillary Clinton has been relatively quiet for the past 2 or 3 years. Where have you really seen her out doing media? What's interesting, she had a book
She hadn't
out
been
in
as quiet
September.
as you think. You should come to my house.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, in September, I believe, she released a book. So last month, she released a book. And if you look, I've seen more and more media appearances of Hillary Clinton appearing on mainstream media talking about threats to democracy, specifically Donald Trump, specifically disinformation, the tech companies that are spreading disinformation, and what we should be doing about that spread of disinformation. She even said, if we don't stop them, we lose control. Did you guys remember that clip from like 2 weeks ago? So it's very interesting that you bring
Who's
this up.
we?
Yeah, well, it's very interesting you bring this up because she's been relatively quiet for the past couple of years. And then all of a sudden, leading up to, again, the most contentious election of our lifetimes, you start to see Hillary Clinton popping up here, popping
Adam,
up there,
because
doing
she's
media here.
Wait, hold on,
campaigning
and I'm going to
for
come to you. But
the Democrat.
Adam, here's my thing. And I understand what he's saying completely. Okay,
I actually don't, but go on,
let me finish.
I don't understand what any of this is
I don't. How would you put? And I'm being genuinely inquisitive. Would you put anything past the party, DNC, people like Hillary, that created a Russian collusion hoax that, hold on, in cahoots with the Department of Justice and the FBI that dragged us for all those years, okay? The same party that purposefully opened up a border, it's still open to this day, to let in illegals, give them all this money and fly them to swing and battleground states to vote for their party and to, hold on, the same party, I could keep going, that told a sitting president, you don't have any say in this, get the F out because you suck and the numbers ain't right. And without, by the way, he had 14 million votes. We're just going to put in this chick and we're all going to have to vote for her. Do you put it past that party that they would do some crazy stuff, Adam, crazy, to wheel her out, get her, make her look like crap, and then go, guys, you know what? To save the party, put in, let's say, a Hillary. You don't think that they have the power to do that, or the skill, or the conniving tactics, and you don't think the Democratic Party would easily go, yeah, Hillary. You don't think that they're capable, or they would do something like that with everything that I laid out? This evil ass party that wants to sexualize children, open the border, all this. You don't think that they would do something like that? Last minute, fourth quarter, Hail Mary, F Kamala? Because I don't know if you know this or not, she's not looking good. To hell with that interview. She is losing. I don't care what polls. Tom shows them that they're always late. She does not look good. They are losing the black vote. I know it was 80% during Obama. It's down to what, 63 now with her? 63? 48. It's, guys, polls aside, it's not looking good.
What's your question?
They're panicking.
What's your question?
I think I asked it. Do you not think that this party would do some crazy shit in this month of October, 3 weeks out?
I think any political party that wants to win an election
Okay.
will do whatever they need to do to win an election. So yes, the DNC will do this. So you're asking the wrong question. The question is, do they want to win or no? And the answer is,
yes.
Yeah, we want to win.
Can you win with her? Can you win with her right now?
But
I don't think so.
Well,
The number,
according to Vegas,
he's moving up.
He's overtaken her and then some.
So that's the problem.
So she's trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So if we're actually having this conversation, which I somewhat feel dumber for having.
You shouldn't.
Who are we saying that they're going to put in with 2 weeks left to go that isn't even on the ballot in 50 states? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's intellectually lazy. So if they're going to remove her, who are they putting in?
Hillary.
Is Hillary on the ballot in any other states?
And
Exactly. So my point, early voting already started. People have already cast their votes for Kamala. So to me, it's intellectually lazy to be like, well, Kamala's underperforming now, so they put her on Fox News because they want her to lose, and Hillary Clinton's the new candidate. To me, it's actually the R word, which is retarded. But you guys keep going in your echo chamber here and try to justify why you're...
I'm not trying to
ridiculous hypothesis makes any sense. The reality is Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, and more than likely Trump is going to beat Kamala, and we're all going to get our wish. And you guys with your Hillary Clinton fabricated stories are going to look back and be like
the Russian collusion.
It was pretty stupid.
Like the Russian collusion. Like Russian collusion.
No, because it's
fabricated
totally different.
Story. Because that's how they roll.
Good people on both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go on
people
and
on both
and
sides.
on.
He's still
Adam,
using it for ads.
But do you not think that Kamala Harris is actually going to be the candidate in 2 weeks? Like, what are we saying right now?
I mean, Adam,
this is the conversation we're having?
No. We're having
dumber
a broader conversation,
Are we
right?
though?
No, I'm telling you. Like, the thing is, these
Trump's
people,
going to win. Kamala's going to lose. That's the
these
point.
people.
What's your guys' point?
These people, they tend to win because they play outside the margins, outside the rules. You know, they push it.
I'm not denying that.
You know.
So what are they going to do?
So sometimes we think this is too insane, too incredible. You know, but I come. You know, in my country, they try to change the constitution. Nobody saw that coming, and they're thinking 2 steps ahead. Like, I'm actually more worried about what they're going to try to do once Trump gets elected, because the number of things they can do legally, illegally with the Trump election. Like, what was the lawyer, Rob, that warned everyone about civil war?
Mike Pence? No.
Mike Pence?
No.
Schiff? No.
I'm not
Adam
sure who
Schiff?
you're talking about.
He was like, you better get ready because there might be a civil war. They're gonna go after. I don't remember what the lawyer was, but bad example. Anyhow, but,
Don McGahn?
I can't remember. We'll need to look it up.
Look at the TV.
Connor,
Look at the TV. Look at the TV, Humberto.
Peter Schiff. That's it. Peter Schiff.
Peter Schiff, he's not a lawyer, he's the economist. Peter Schiff knows nothing about politics. He should stick to talking about gold. So, guys, what are we even saying?
Okay, well,
That they don't want that the DNC doesn't want Kamala to win.
I'm just.
What's your point in 5 seconds?
Okay, his point.
No,
was,
your point.
His point was there only 2 things could be true. Either they were cocky and stupid, and they wheeled her out on Fox with less than 3 weeks, Adam, which is the dumbest shit ever. You think that little margin of people are going to go, she's tough, is really stupid.
Yes, that's
that's
the point.
By the way,
That's actually the point.
nobody in Fox world saw that and was like, yeah, Kamala, she looked like shit. She looked stupid, and guess what? This is how dumb she looked. Show her.
Vinny, just because you're yelling?
No.
Doesn't mean you're
because
right.
You don't get it.
The person who talks louder here isn't right.
No, but I don't understand what
You're yelling at the fucking sky right now.
Adam, because you think the Democratic Party won't do some crazy shit to win.
That's not what I said. I think they will do whatever they need
do
to do
whatever
to
the
win.
hell they want. Look what they
which
did to
is
Biden.
why
Yeah.
they got rid of Biden and implanted Kamala.
Okay, so
and now you whack jobs
there's
are like, there's 2 weeks before the election. Kamala ain't doing so good.
I
They're
don't
going
believe
to
that.
replace Kamala now.
There's no
it's
way.
actually
and
retarded.
Tom said it's very highly unlikely, almost impossible. That's what Tom said.
He said highly unlikely, but he said there's two options. You pick which one. And I just want to show
The whole, the whole reason this conversation started wasn't because we were claiming that they were going to swap it out. The question
No, that's
was,
really what they were.
No, that's where the conversation went. The conversation began with, why are her handlers allowing her to do this interview? And we still have not answered that question.
I answered it perfectly.
Because they're either
it's
too
because you
cocky
need to
or-
go to enemy territory. You're doing the Donald Trump model. We can preach to the converted and preach to the choir. We've done that. We've done the call her daddy. We've done the Howard Stern. We've done the softball interviews. Now we need to do harder stuff because we need to convince people, because we're losing
But
now,
she fucking
to vote
tanked,
for us.
She's tanked the
And-
softball interviews. So what campaign manager in their right mind, Adam, enough, what campaign manager in their right mind would look at that and go, she's getting layups and she's bricking.
So-
she's bricking every single layup.
Put
So we're going to
yourself-
go put her and feed her to the Lions? You don't take a child that can't ride a bike and then put them on a fucking motorcycle. And that's what they're doing with this woman. She can't handle softball interviews. You put her in the Lions' den with the enemy, and not even a controlled enemy. Brett Baier goes hard against Trump. You know he's
And
going to go.
Obama, yeah.
Did you hear what Brett Baier said about Trump? Trump said about Brett Baier.
He doesn't like him.
He goes, oh, I thought
There's two Brett Baiers.
He goes, there's two Brett Baiers. Sometimes he's nice, and then sometimes he's himself. And that's,
But
that's what I love about Brett
'cause
Baier. He's the worst. I love Brett
wanna-
Baier. He sucks. He's the worst. Sometimes he's himself. He's the worst, but he was nice.
Connor, I'm gonna play the dance. Connor, I'm gonna play the one where she says Trump all the time. But Adam, so here's the thing. So to kind of go against your point, they gave her this interview. They loved it. They wanted. Let's show her why 5 minutes in they were trying to cut her, and Brett Baier went on.
That's what their job is.
No.
to do.
Wait.
We
What do you mean
learned that
5
with
minutes? Wait,
PBD.
hold on. But if you want to see her in this light and give her this platform, that means they either messed up, Adam, or they let her to the wolves. They let her freaking get eaten by the wolves. So I'm gonna, in closing,
I don't think
I'm in closing.
No, her schedule
Adam,
for the day was published. She was supposed to be there 25 to 30 minutes. The schedule for the day was published. They showed up 15 minutes late, and then they wanted it to be 20 or sub 20. So
I believe that.
Okay, so
But the point is, it was on the calendar. They had an interview. They thought it out. They said, hey, but it's not like she's like, hey, what am I doing today? You're going to go on Fox News. Okay, I'll see you on I'm going on Fox News. What do you mean? What's going on here?
This was
Yeah, we've
announced
known this
2
for 2
weeks
weeks.
ahead.
no, it's 2 weeks ahead.
2 weeks ahead.
I don't know. I understand what you're trying to say, some of it, Adam, but a little bit, to be fair, you kind of sound like an apologist relapse here,
I think you guys actually genuinely sound retarded because
I take it.
she's going to do
Cold
an
word.
interview.
I take
Try to win.
Hey, well, buddy, you want to
guys
talk
are just-
about the R word? Let's show how much obsession. You want to talk about what was that
You
Trump
wanna say
circle
something?
jerk?
Connor, go ahead.
The Trump circle jerk.
Can Connor talk?
Let's show. Yeah, show Connor really fast.
Bring the lube,
He's the
Connor.
least retarded.
So since we went there, I'm going to have to just jump in real quick. Lots of great points all around here. I will just say, Adam, you put a substantial amount of money on Joe Biden being the candidate by this point in the election, and we saw how that went.
Yep.
So make of that what you guys will.
Oh,
We'll roll the video.
$1,000, which listen,
No.
excuse me, $1,000 is substantial to some, not to others. It'll be payable on November 5th. By the way, we're doing a big election party November 5th.
Yes.
Listen, guys, I'm not
I don't
on
think it was
team.
payable on November 5th.
Guys, you guys are all
Still
on
the
team
wounded
Trump,
warrior.
team whatever. I'm on team America, and I'm on
Wow.
team living in reality.
Are you voting for Kamala?
No.
Okay.
So
I want to make sure.
So the point is, Yeah, we all thought that Biden was going to be the candidate.
Not me. I bet against it. That's how I won the bet.
But okay, how about this? How about this, tough guys? Put your money where your mouth is. You want to bet that Kamala Harris is going to be the candidate?
I most likely she will be.
No, what do you mean? So put your money where your mouth is, tough guy.
There's a percentage that she might not be.
Whatever amount you want to put on this, tough guy. Go ahead.
I just want to show one.
Go ahead. And Tom, you're coming to you next.
No.
Tiny Tom.
Look how close we get. Adam,
What is we're gonna make out? Okay.
What?
How much money you want to put on this one?
Listen, no, I don't want
How
money.
much money? Put your money on your mouth.
I'm not betting on nothing because
all of a sudden,
I keep winning bets against you.
Listen. Excuse me.
I keep winning bets. I love the
now
bets.
the unusual.
Listen,
weird
you're gay.
effects.
You don't look gay. You definitely look gay.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Go hurry up. I want to
Just
close.
saying.
Tom has to
Put
go.
your money where your mouth is.
Adam, I keep winning bets against you. I haven't lost a bet.
I've got enough money to pay you every day of your life.
All right, listen. I want to show this. You want to talk about the Trump circle jerk and who's obsessed. These people are obsessed with Trump. This is how many times she said Trump in the interview with Brett Baier. Go ahead, play it.
Democrats
Donald
voted.
Trump, Donald 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 Trump, and Donald Trump, Donald Trump,
President Biden at a fundraiser debate stage.
Let's go back to
oil
Donald
profits.
Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald
Look at
Trump,
him dancing.
Donald Trump, and
Democrats voted.
Donald Trump, 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 and Donald Trump, Donald
President
Trump.
Biden.
What's the number on it?
I don't know. It's too much. All right, stop it, Connor. But anyway, listen, guys.
Almost as much as he says his own
Yeah.
name. Oh.
African Americans. Okay, listen, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. To everybody that's watching, please, if you haven't subscribed, well, there's an Angry Patriot shirt. Rob, you want to know why I'm angry, Adam? Because of the country's falling apart.
I actually think that's a perfect shirt for you.
That's a perfect shirt.
Next thing, you should put a logo with a vein popping out right here.
Shut up, Adam.
I'll make out with you on camera
tired.
right now, Vincent.
And do me a favor, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the Unusual Suspects right now. If you have a second, click subscribe. Boom, it's right there. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Humberto, Rob, Adam, Tom, Connor, Jake, Kelly, Jeremy in the back. And by the way, guys, Rob literally slept on this couch for 1 hour last night because he was still here doing the podcast with the president. Guys, we love you guys to death. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure, guys, subscribe. Valuetainment, PBD Podcast, everything. The Biz Doc. Tom, when is your the decision coming out?
The decision is coming out today. Polling show comes out every Thursday, and it's usually around 1 or 1:30 Eastern Time. Coming to you from Valuetainment and VTnews.ai.
VTnews.ai, guys. We'll actually put the link in the description for the decision. I love you guys all more than you know. Love each other. It's us against them, and the future absolutely looks bright. Peace and love, guys.